this on 2 calls. What I want you to do is, first off, let me say you're doing a rock star job. I love it. You're having great success with the pitch. Your flow is great. Your deflection is fantastic. So if they end up saying, "Oh, I'm not this, I'm not that," you literally just deflect that and you go right into verifying information. I think that's helping you have a lot of success, keeping them on the phone, staying on the phone. So this call I wanted to pull was from this week. The caller ID has him as James Walter. I guess it's Sharon is who you spoke with.
Yep, we closed this customer.
We did, yep.
I'm actually going to follow up with her today and get the routing number and confirm the payment date.
Hello? Cool. Hi.
Hello?
Hi, is this Sharon?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Sharon. My name's Mark. I'm with Farmers Insurance. How are you today?
I'm fine, but I'm not interested.
Well, our rate's only coming in at $54 a month to help you out a little bit.
Bam, right there. Fantastic. I mean, you run into this so many times to where, they end up giving you some baloney reason. I'm not interested. I don't want to talk. And then once you get past the rigmarole of dealing with that, you go right into it. You shoot out the rate, and then she's like, well, dang, that ain't that bad after all.
Yeah, I don't know where. I've been getting calls and phone calls and phone calls, and I don't know where all these insurance companies are getting my name at.
I understand. Well, somebody filled out a quote online or something, maybe trying to compare rates. So I saw you were looking for a quote on your auto insurance. I just wanted to reach out and double check some information with you guys. Is your address
perfect? Bam. There's so many. I've gone through this hundreds of times with people. Everybody gets hung up right here. You didn't. You just started verifying the information and just kept going. That's the secret. You just keep going.
61 Gene Drive in Arnold?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and then I've got you and James on the policy. Is that all your drivers in the household?
My son drives on our car, but he's got his own policy.
Okay.
But our insurance agent says that our policy covers him too.
Yeah, he lives separately from you guys, right?
I wanted to ask on that. So how did you end up quoting this
one? With James as the primary insured and Sharon as secondary insured.
And then what about the son? Is the son excluded?
Out of the household.
You just put him out of household?
Yeah.
That's fine. Did you validate? He does live with them. She says it.
Just but
right here.
My husband.
Yeah, he lives separately from you guys, right?
He lives in the house with us, but my husband and I just recently. I don't drive at all anymore.
But it's okay. I think we're fine. We just want to make sure. So I just wanted to see because it's.
Well, if that is the case, then we need to get him on the policy.
Well, hold on. Let me look at something. It's James Walter, right?
Yeah. I guess I missed that because I'm pretty sure I just have him and Sharon on there.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not upset or anything like that. I just
I'm
saw
gonna be upset if I don't get the sale.
Well, he's not in the household, which is fine. And as she goes on to say, he has his own insurance, he drives his own vehicle, that kind of thing. He probably has his own place. I think or maybe he has a spouse. I don't know what the family dynamic is, but I know that in this scenario, he was helping drive because James had cataracts.
I remember her saying something about that.
Yeah. So, but now it sounds like that's been rectified or corrected or fixed, and now he's driving again. So, not the end of the world. Just wanted to touch base on it. It's okay the way you ran it. This is already validated, so it didn't do a DD, so it's nothing really to worry about. If you ran into like a driver discovery, it'd be an issue. Now, if this was somebody that had like a youthful operator, somebody at the age of 26. you got to get them on the policy. But this is an adult loved one that's helping take care of their mom and dad. This isn't the same kind of scenario. Now, I mean, we never want to have an unrated driver have an accident, because then you have what's called premium leakage. Premium leakage is where we should have been charging a customer a certain premium and we didn't, and we paid out a claim, so thus you deal with the premium leakage. I'm not concerned about that for this scenario. I just wanted to make sure that you did that, how you did it, the way you did it. It's okay for this scenario, but if it's a youthful operator, we've got to have them on there. This is fine the way this is done.
Husband just recently started driving again. He lost most of his eyesight due to cataract, but so for 2 years, my son was driving us wherever we had to go. But now my husband's driving again.
Yeah, I completely understand. When was the last time you had a conversation with your agent about your coverages, Sharon?
Beautiful, beautiful.
I don't know how long. We had totally added to it, but our policy isn't that much. It's $100 something a month, I think.
Okay, well, if that is the case, we're only coming in at...
Good job. What I want you to do here, $100 a month, man, that's a lot of money for somebody on a fixed income. Are you still working? You're on a fixed income? Drive that home. Make them realize that is a lot of money. Then when you provide the solution, it's bigger than it is.
$54 a month, so wouldn't be cutting your cost in half. Is that
saving you $500 a year?
Type of savings you're looking for?
Yeah, that'd be great, but we also have our house insured.
Awesome.
To the same agent.
Yeah, that's typically what I recommend. I usually recommend everybody in 3 weeks ago, so they didn't cover it.
So right here, perfect. I wanted to fast forward to this claim situation that you're talking about. So recap before this, they had Allstate come out to inspect the roof. They came out, looked at it, said there was no damage. They wouldn't replace the roof. They just paid the bill themselves to get the roof replaced. So you hit on it a little bit, but I really, really, really want you to drive this home. So kind of egg them on a little as they're kind of, what do you mean? They came out and inspected it. They didn't find nothing wrong. I mean, how does a house in St. Louis not have any hail damage? Everybody gets hail in St. Louis. You know, just so, man, I've heard that before. They denied the claim. Man, what a bummer. What a bummer. That sucks. I bet that made you guys mad. Yeah, you just kind of
must have had ice backed up. There's no problem out there. Mm-hmm. But we went ahead and had a replace ourselves.
So they didn't cover it for you?
No, they did not.
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but that doesn't sound right to me. I mean... Yeah,
so take a second, pause it, blow it out of proportion. Oh my gosh, you know, like just be awkward.
We've had in 40-some years.
I mean, we do things a little bit differently here at Farmers.
I like this.
If you were to have a claim here at Farmers, we would have you call into the office. We don't like you to call into an 800 number or anything, because we're usually a little bit more familiar with our customers.
But we talked to our agent, and he's the one that had him come out and take care of it.
Yeah, and then we're able to do it for you.
My husband didn't find yet his teeth. He's been wanting it changed over.
Damn, right here. You let this kind of skip over. Hit on this. I'd be mad too. I tell you what, I've been insured with some place for 40 years, and then I finally have a situation where I need some help, and then they're not even going to pay for it. I could bite a nail into. I'd be mad too. But don't worry, we're going to get you fixed and sorted out.
Ever since.
Try to get them into an emotional state. People make decisions in an emotional state.
I don't know what I did with them.
All right, so I don't need to listen to that. All right, so
I'll be, walking out to the garage to get stuff. We're actually coming in a little.
All right, here, I want to hit on this.
Out to the garage, but I just remembered what it was I was looking for, you know?
Yeah, but
good job building rapport. You're continuing this. But right here, this is so easy to accidentally do. So make sure you write this down. You don't want to fall into this little accident.
It's a mess.
But
And the older you get, the worse it gets.
oh yeah, I'm sure it does. But you know, we're actually coming in a little lower than.
Right, coming in a little lower. We don't want to say it like that. We want to say something along the lines of, okay, so I've got all the numbers all put together. Now, I've got replacement cost coverage on the roof. I've got replacement cost coverage on the personal property. I have more coverage than what you currently have, and we're going to be able to save you money on the house as well.
Yep, exaggerate the value.
Exaggerate the values. This one, you took away from your effort. You know what I'm saying? But coming in a little lower, you don't want to, that's just an accident. I think you just said it not paying attention, to be completely transparent with you. So just exaggerate, blow it out of proportion. We were able to do this. We were able to do this. We were able to do this. And we're beating your coverage. How about that? You know what I mean?
Not on your home insurance. I think we'd be able to offer you a pretty good savings. If you're at over $1,000, we're coming in right around $900. So yearly, we'd be saving you at least $100 on your homeowner's insurance. And
combine the two. Well, you already know you saved your $600 a year on the car insurance. You just saved $100. The combined bundle, you're going to be saving $700 a year. Is that the kind of coverage and savings you're looking for? We doubled your property damage on the car insurance. We improved your coverage on the homeowners. We saved you $700 a year, and it's better coverage. Is that the kind of coverage and savings you're looking for?
Offering you better coverage as well. And on the auto insurance, we're actually cutting your price in half. So for the auto insurance, you said you're paying how much?
It's $100 and something a month.
100 and something a month. Okay, so that would usually break down to about 600, right? You pay.
Now, see, we have a low deductible, though.
What kind of deductible do you like to carry? I know most people usually do.
I was trying to break down the savings for it, but every time I started,
I don't think we have one that high. I think it's even lower than that, but I'm not sure.
They're all over
We
the
can
place.
always change your deductible.
You know, I can scream at her how much savings she has, but
one
she probably
cool thing here we have is farmers.
customer.
We actually have a
She's like way down here. I don't want to be way up here.
No, you're, oh my God, man, we're going to be.
Oh, okay.
Let me talk to my husband.
Now, is that the type of coverage that you're looking for, Sharon? It sounds like you guys have been thinking about switching ever since you had that claim that your insurance company wasn't able to cover.
Yeah, we've been with Allstate probably 40 years.
Yeah. So.
No, it's just been easier just to keep renewing.
Right. Yeah. And see, the only thing that concerns me about that is that you've been with them for so long and your agent hasn't reached out to you to make sure that you're properly covered,
or just to tell you they're not going to cover the claim.
To see if he can get you any type of discounts or anything like that. But here at Farmers, we're a full service agency. So I know you don't want to deal with the hassle of switching over. So what I would do is I would take care of all that for you. All my customers, I prepare a letter of cancellation for their previous insurance company. All you'd have to do is sign off on that, and I'd take care of anything else that you need.
Oh, okay. Let me talk to my husband, and can you give me a call back tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what. Are you guys pretty handy with email?
That's good. So, like the call, you did a great job. So, just a couple little tidbits. Like I said, make sure you work on your verbiage a little bit. Don't take away anything from, we're coming in a little lower, just work on that. Focus on claims experience. Focus on claims experience because people shop or change insurance for 3 reasons. They change because of price, claims, or customer service. Those are the 3 reasons people change insurance. If none of those are an issue, people are pretty loyal to the place that they're at and they don't want to change. So if you can find one of those 3 things to kind of harp on and sing your own praise, it's going to help you. And then I wanted to, I was able to pull up the productivity log. I think you're logged in as Sam again on MVP. You're logging your calls, but they're not being logged as you.
Okay.
So make sure that system's trying to have you log in as Sam. Just make sure you're
I'm
logged
just
in.
gonna, I mean, for the 7th time, I'm just gonna close everything and log back in, so.
No, you're good, buddy. You're good. So we do an end of day email too. I wanted to put that on your radar. What we're looking for in the end of day is if there's any calls that you would like us to pull, kind of go over, you could throw those in there. Otherwise, we're just kind of combing through. We want to know how many calls you made, how many pitches you made, and your hot list. That way we can kind of help you track it. That way in like 3 days, if you're like, fuck, man, who was I supposed to call back? You can go to the email you sent me. Oh, you know what? I had a call with Sharon. That's who I had a call with. So it's like it's another form of reassurance. That way you can see what you have, we can see what you have, and we can collectively work together with you.
Okay. My only concern is that I feel like I've been spending and wasting a lot of time notating and re-notating and re-documentating things in like multiple different spaces.
Yeah, so we're trying to streamline.
Really slowing me down.
We're trying to streamline to where we're getting out of DYL, and we're
Okay.
going to be primarily in MVP. But it's been a migration. So we took on MVP, I want to say about 2 years ago now, or a year and a half ago. When we ended up taking it down, we did everything out of DYL. So that's helping like keep us organized over the years. But now that we're going to MVP, we're kind of like having the stuff in multiple places. That way, we don't end up calling somebody, pitching somebody that you've already closed, calling somebody, pitching somebody you already have an appointment with. It's real easy to do that when you've got multiple salespeople. So I know it can be tedious, and
Yeah,
I know it
and
can
not
be.
only do we have multiple salespeople, but the information is saved in multiple different places in multiple different ways.
Yes.
So there's like a million extra variables that like.
Give me an
push
example.
there.
Give me an example.
Okay, so like I need to notate everything in Apex,
Right.
and I also need to put the notes in Apex. I also need to put the notes in MVP, and there are also like certain other things I need to add to MVP, such as like the previous carrier's coverage limit, the date that I got the quote, the spouse's information, every single vehicle I have to go in and add in manually to MVP, and then DYL, I have to go in and put the notes in there. Then DYL is also where I make my appointments and all that other stuff. But any other notes that I have on the customer, that's back in MVP. Now, as far as what you guys pull up on the customer file, all that stuff is probably through ECRM, which is connected to Apex. So now you have 3 different locations with 3 separate pieces, 4 separate locations with 4 separate pieces of information and 4 different sets of variables. And you've got 6 different, or however many different people all logging information.
I know. It's a lot. It is a lot. So the reason we put in so much information into MVP is the more information you have, the greater propensity to close sales, to close deals.
But it also takes me longer to contact those customers, and the less time that I spend contacting more customers, the less chance I have to get new business. You see what I'm saying?
Totally. No,
I could be making way more calls. And I know there's nothing you can do about this.
Right.
But like, if there was some type of streamlining of the process, I'd be making a lot more calls. Like for me to make 50 calls and notate everything properly is like a pretty jam-packed day.
Yeah.
And I would really like to be making closer to like 75.
Right. But let me ask you this. The leads that you're calling, the people you're getting a hold of, the information that's in the system, is it helping or is it hurting?
That's definitely helping and it's definitely valuable. But if I'm spending too much time working, like if I spend 10 minutes working on a quote trying to figure out all the right vehicles and all the right family members and all the right stuff, and then I call them and they already have our number blocked,
that's a waste of time.
Then I wasted all that time.
You wasted all that time. Right. No, I get that.
And you wasted money on leads.
Right. And then we mail out the quote, we send out the postage. I mean, we still send the information even though the phone number is blocked. But that's why we also have you calling out of separate phone numbers. And I mean, there's a lot of things we do behind the scenes to try to make sure that you don't get blocked, that it isn't a waste. So it is a lot of information, and we're trying to streamline it. And taking on the new quoting system in Apex is, I mean, I don't know if you know, but Apex is new. That's something that we recently got as well. So
Yeah, and Salesforce is great. I'm really familiar with Salesforce. Like,
Jeremy and I, we're
use.
trying to find ways to streamline everything and make it easier. And I can revisit the conversation on hey, you know, there's some things that we can kind of streamline because I mean you're right, it could take up to 7-8 minutes per lead. If that's the case, I mean you're only able to call, you know, 6-7 leads, or 10 leads an hour.
And God forbid they have AAA and you can't pull any of their information.
I know.
So then you have nothing ready when you call the customer.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a good point. So the end of day email, you don't have to spend a lot of time on that.
I'll do it. I mean, I'm not saying I won't.
No.
I
Here,
just want you
let
to
me
realize all the different stuff that causes me frustration.
Oh, for sure. But here, let me show you something real